welcome to episode 33. As always, I am incredibly happy and grateful and appreciative to be here. And as number 71 says, well, I'm consistently inconsistent. So here I am. Okay, so speaking of 71, I have not had a chance to tell you guys about our first date. It was pretty hilarious, actually, because I had just had some problems with my contacts. And so for those of you who don't know, I'm too scared to get like the PRK or like the LASIK, and I've seen too many horror movies and it just freaks me out, right? Anyway, so it's free with the Army. I just don't want to do it. So I still do the daily wear contacts. I wear glasses occasionally, but my civilian glasses that I wear occasionally are really cute pink, like cat eye, super cute, but I can't wear them in uniform. Anyway, so I was having problems with my contacts, and one of them was just like really irritating me one day, and then I pulled it out of my eye, and I'm like, oh, it looks like, because unfortunately I'm one of those people, which you should never do, who wears your contact more than fucking 30 days. I looked at it, I was like, it looks like this guy's gonna rip. I need to order some more. Forgot all about it, lived my life. Sure enough, that was my last box. I do like 6 at a time because I'm blind as fuck, so my contacts are expensive. Anyway, so I stretch them out, which is stupid. But anyway, so sure enough, my last contact ripped before my new contacts came in. So I've been blind my whole life, so I don't really know what it's like to see like all of God's favorites. I'm not one of them, so I have no idea. But anyway, so I went to work and I was just like, I can't really see. My contacts are on order. I went like a few days with like not being able to really see. And my boss was like, this is ridiculous. You can't wear the pink glasses, obviously, in uniform. You have to be in uniform, right? Because we're in the Army, we're recruiters. And he was like, for God's sakes, go get like a fucking pair of Army prescribed glasses, right? So I had to go to Fort Drum. We're 3 hours away. It was like a big old thing. It took me a whole fucking day, but I got a new prescription with the Army. And if you guys have not used it, you can order them on base once you are seen, or you can use Gen Eyes. Anyway, so or GIs rather. Anyway, so I was like super excited. My Army glasses came in within like, I don't know, 5-7 days. They came in super fast. It was awesome. And they're really cute. They gave me like 3 different pairs of black ones because they've, I joined in 2009, so I had like the ugly brown BCGs, birth control goggles. Well, these guys are actually really cute now. So there's like 2 or 3 black ones. One of them has like silver on the side. But what also came in, which was cool as shit, was prescription sunglasses. So I've never had prescription sunglasses, but I've always had my eye on them. In fact, when I went to update my contacts, which of course now I have, and now I have like a year's supply because it was just such a pain. But anyway, I walked in and they had like a little stand for Oakley, and I love Oakley prescription sunglasses. So I was like, I've never had prescription sunglasses. I'm going to need to wait a paycheck or 2, right? And then come back and see if I can get them. I've never had them. I'm curious, but of course I want Oakley. Well, the Army is awesome. So the Army sent me prescription sunglasses, and they're silver and they have like a blue haze to them. They're actually aviation. They're meant for pilots. They're Army prescribed sunglasses, so they're really cool looking. I put I took a photo of uniform on social media, and a few of my buddies were like, those are not authorized. I'm like, they are, because if they're issued by the Army. Anyways, this whole thing. Anyway, they're cute as shit. I wore them a couple of times at work for fun, like inside. My boss was like, fuck, stop it, right? Anyway, so because they're prescribed, it doesn't mean you can still wear sunglasses, but I'm like, I'm cool. Anyway, it was fun. So the reason I bring up the prescription sunglasses is when 71 and I met, I was like, oh my God, there's this cute little town. Let's meet at the cute little town. We can walk up and down. There's like a water fountain. There's like a brewery. There's like a burger place I really like. There's like coffee. There's ice cream. It'd be fun, right? So he lives about 2 hours away from me. And we met on an app, of course, and we got along really well, really quickly. And he actually helped me navigate a little bit of my break-ins, which I'll go into more in the next few episodes. But my home was broken into a few times by one of my neighbors, and it was a little stressful, but he helped me navigate it through. Anyway, so it'll be awesome, right? Come to this little town. He's like, okay, cool, right? So he doesn't mind the drive. He's really busy at the moment. I was really busy for a while. Our schedules aligned, and it was great. So I shot him an address of a burger place that I really fucking love. I was like, hey, meet me here in this town on this day at this time. He's like, awesome. So he gets in the car, right? So he sends a text or a call, either one. And he's like, okay, so this is my ETA. And I'm like, perfect. I'm only like 20 minutes away. He's 2 hours away. I was like, perfect. I'll have some more coffee. I hang out at home with my dog, play with my phone, update social media. Like, it'll be fine, right? So he gives me like an update. He's like halfway through and he's like, just so you know, this is my ETA. And I'm like, awesome. I'll be there. Okay, cool, right? So I'm still fucking around at home, just kind of doing my own shit, coffee, my dog, my phone, whatever. Next thing I know, he's like, hey, I'm like 10 minutes away. And I'm like, holy fuck. Because, of course, I'm not prepared. I'm not ready. So instead of putting my contacts on that day, though I was thinking it would be kind of cool to try it in real life when not at work, I decided to use my prescription sunglasses, right? So, but I didn't think it out. I didn't think it through. Anyway, so I'm wearing, I don't know what the fuck I'm wearing, shorts and a flannel or something. Whatever the fuck I'm wearing, I look really cute, but I'm casual, of course, right? I have a little bit of makeup on, and I grab the sunglasses, and like I text him, like, I'm so sorry, but I'm a few minutes late. I'm so sorry, right? And he's like, okay, no big deal, like, not a problem. He's like, let me know when you're here. I'm going to park and figure out where I'm at, because he's never been to this town. I'm like, okay, awesome. So I'm in my cute outfit that I don't remember what the fuck it is. And then I have the sunglasses. I'm thinking I look really cute. I don't wear makeup all the time, but wearing a little bit more and more lately. So I think I look really cute, right? So I get out of the car and it's sunny and I'm like, or the Jeep, whatever. I'm like, it's sunny. This is awesome. So I went ahead and parked where I normally park because it's one of the towns that I'm assigned to, right, as a recruiter. So then I call him and I'm like, hey, I'm here. I'm at such and such street. And he's like, where's that? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, right here at such and such street. Where are you? He's like, I don't know. I'm over here. So he tells me what street he's at. And I'm like, I don't know that street. And he's like, what do you mean? This is your town. This is the town, right? I'm like, yeah, but I don't know that street. And he's like, but I thought this was your town. It was like really funny. So I'm just like, not a big deal. I was like, I'm by such and such. And he's like, well, I'm by like a UPS building. I'm like, I don't know where the fuck that is. It was like hilarious. So then I was like, well, I'm over by like a Burger King. He's like, I don't know where that is. So we literally were on the phone and there happened to be like a harvest festival going on. So there's like music and a little bit of a crowd and like the streets are blocked off. And he's like, I'm walking down the street. And I'm like, what do you mean you're walking down the street? You're going to get hit by a car. Because where I was, there was no harvest festival. So we were like laughing. And he was like, I'm not going to get hit. There's a festival. I'm like, what festival? So we're going back and forth. And he's like, you hear music? I'm like, what music? Anyway, it's hilarious. So we're basically doing like a scavenger hunt on the phone. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so cute. And he's like laughing. He's like, I guess. I'm all like... This is kind of fun. Like it's like a maze. It's like a puzzle to find each other. So we eventually find each other. He is cute as shit. I'm of course cute. And then we start talking right away. Like we have our meal. Meal's awesome. We ordered the meal inside, but the place that we were at was like well lit, right? So I didn't notice the problem that I had created for myself. So we walked in. I'm like, I have sunglasses. It's not weird, right? I don't think so. I order, it's a casual place anyway. It's delicious, but I went ahead and order. And then I have my sunglasses on and we sit outside because it's beautiful, right? So we're sitting outside. I have sunglasses. It's not weird. So we're talking. We have a great conversation. We're laughing. He likes the food. We're just getting along really well. We have had up until this point, like a few conversations. So it was kind of like old friends catching up. So it's like a great first date vibe, right? So we're talking or whatever. And he knows like a little bit about my life. So he's asking about my job. He's asking about my dog. Going really well, right? And then our meal ended. We had a beer or two, I think. And then, no, we didn't have, I don't remember if we had a beer or not. It doesn't matter. But we finished the meal and I was like, hey, so I'm having fun. I was like, it's still early. You have a drive back, but do you want to go ahead and try a brewery that's down the road that's one of my favorites, like within walking distance? He's like, no, as long as you know where it is. I'm like, of course I know where it is. This is my town, right? So we're like laughing. So we go and we have like a couple beers. Things are going really well, right? Having a lot of fun. But it occurred to me in the second place, it was dark as fuck and I'm wearing sunglasses. So I tried taking them off because I'm like, well, I don't want to be completely socially awkward. Like I'm kind of comfortable, with 71 because we've had a few conversations, but it is kind of weird to be sitting inside a restaurant with sunglasses on, right? Even though they're prescription, right? So I bring up my sunglasses because I'm kind of like, I feel weird, but if I take my sunglasses off, I really can't fucking see, right? Like, and it's dark, so this is stupid. So I bring it up in conversation and he looks at me like I'm a little crazy, but then he looks at me like he kind of is like, this is Tracy. This is who Tracy is. And he was like, why did you make life so complicated? Why didn't you bring glasses? Why didn't you bring your contacts? He was like, I get you were running late, but why didn't you have your contacts with you, like in your person, like in your bag, your pocket? I'm like, I don't know. He was like, why don't you have glasses in your car? I'm like, I don't know. So literally through the whole course of the date, because we stayed there and then we went on a walk to this really cute like water fountain thing, and this little waterfall was hilarious as shit. Anyway, because he's like, that's not a waterfall, that's sewer. But anyway, so The date was awesome, but I have to say that after a few beers, of course, right, I needed to use the restroom. So I was literally like, excuse me. And I put my sunglasses on. I was like, I have to go to the restroom. So anyway, it was a good date. I didn't anticipate the prescription sunglasses, so that was a bit of a fail. I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and order the Oakley ones because I have the Army ones and they don't really seem practical. Like, I can kind of see if I'm outside for like a game or something. But 71's right. Like, if I do have prescription sunglasses, I need actual glasses with me or any contacts. So I didn't think that through, but it was like a fun date. So needless to say, we haven't seen each other since. We've spoken quite a few times, but he's just busy again. So of course, I'm not going to say what his job is, but he's really busy right now. So hopefully we get to hang out again. He ended up at the end of the day giving me like really super fucking cute gifts. Like I'm obsessed with bourbon. There's a bourbon out here that's hard to find. So he gave me one. He gave me a t-shirt. It's like customized t-shirt for me. Super cute. He gave me some like keto bars that I love because, you know, I'm always trying to lose weight, you know, because of the Army and I'm always trying to not eat carbs, which is stupid. So anyway, so, and then, and then he made this really cute, beautiful, breathtaking watercolor for me. One day we were having a conversation under a tree and I sent the photo of the tree and he like did a watercolor. It's fucking awesome. Anyway, he's a good guy. So I hope I get to see him soon when he's not as busy. As far as catching you up with everything else, I am doing really well in school. So I highly recommend school or college. You know, for those of you in the military, use tuition assistance. Fucking awesome. I just got a 96.65 in my literature class, and this class was hard as fuck. It's basically 2 papers a week for 8 weeks, and I'm still a recruiter, so hours are still a little crazy. So if you remember, hopefully you remember, if you've been following for this season, I was doing a little bit of research of finding out of like why the fuck I do the things that I fucking do, right? Like, why do I do what I do, right? So this season was really dedicated to that, just to help me figure out my shit. And then of course, to see if you guys could learn anything. So last episode, you know, I was talking about physical attributes, right? I was talking about like the beard and the blue eyes, and I'm not totally sure where it all came from, but I kind of have an idea. Well, anyway, so this episode, I wanted to talk about proximity, right? So proximity to me is actually pretty fucking fascinating. So it's like one of those things that if you do a little bit of research, if you're like me and if you love research, it takes you like on this whole like rabbit hole and you end up like 3 hours later, like on another like finding or research article or what have you. But basically, to like tie it into a nutshell, proximity to me kind of boils down to like that saying of you're just like all the people you hang out with, right? Like if you want to be like an elite, you know, athlete, right? So you hang out with people who are athletic, right? If you want to be like a writer, you hang out with writers. So basically an actor, I hang out with actors, right? So I love that idea because the idea of proximity isn't necessarily physical location. It's just more about the amount of time that you spend with a person, right? So when it comes to dating people, I've thought a lot about this actually, and it kind of makes sense, right? So you know how sometimes you meet somebody and if you're lucky, right, you get along really well and there's a connection that's more than a friendship. The connection's like magic. It's like electrical. It's like fire, right? It's awesome. And it's very rare when it happens. And I think that that's part of the whole soulmate thing. Like there's a few people that can be your soulmate. There's not just one, right? So I think it's that kind of connection. So to me, proximity makes sense because sometimes I have gone out with dates, right? Don't regret anything. Been really safe. It's been good experience. But there's times when I've been out and I'm like, holy fuck, this man is sexy as shit. Oh my God, his voice, his laugh, his eyes, whatever, right? His sarcasm, his wit, like, you feel like magic, right? You feel like electricity. But there's other times where I've been out with a few men and I'm kind of like, well, I mean, he's cute, you know, he's great on paper, right? His biceps are great, whatever. He's smart, he's funny, whatever. He seems, you know, emotionally available, you know, what have you, but there's no chemistry, right? So I've gone out with men like this more than once, right? So like the first date turns into the second date. The second date's same thing. It's okay enough. He's really cute. He's good on paper, but maybe, right? The third, fourth, fifth date, at this point, I kind of feel like if there's no magic, there's never going to be magic, right? But there are definitely studies that say that proximity matters, right? So if you're not initially connected to somebody, the idea is like if you don't have that instant magic, right? The idea is the more that you see that person, like the closer you sit next to them, right? If you're like all the way fucking across a giant table, you're not going to connect with somebody. It kind of makes sense, right? If you're sitting at a booth or a bar and you're side by side, you're really close to each other, your chairs are close to each other, you're leaning in conversation, proximity matters, right? You feel like attractive, you feel like a connection. It's kind of like why with my coworkers, who I'm always saying they're like 4 bad husbands, love them to death, but we spend so much fucking time together. But the thing of it is it's the same principle, right? So like the people that you sit next to at work, for the most part, like, you know, if you're sharing a cubicle or whatever, like for however the fuck your office is, if those people that you see consistently, you end up developing a closer relationship because of proximity. So I'm not saying that it's a good thing that I go on a date with somebody 4 or 5 times if I don't feel any magic or connection, but I feel like it's worth a try, especially if they're nice enough and we have fun and they end up being a friend later, then there's like no harm, right? No foul, no kind of thing, right? So proximity to me is fascinating because I also think since my ex-fiance and I were long distance, I think proximity for us was kind of a detriment actually, because I didn't see him as often. So I feel like when we saw each other, proximity for us was like important. So I kind of feel like maybe in hindsight, we probably felt like we had more of a connection than we actually did, but it was just because of long distance, right? Kind of like the heart, distance makes the heart grow fonder kind of thing. Well, I also think the opposite is true. I also feel like if I had started dating somebody who on a regular serious basis that I felt a connection with, I feel like if they were closer to me, like if I could call this guy or this guy could call me or text him, whatever, and I can be like, hey bitch, I'm hungry, you want to go grab a burger, like on a whim, I think that proximity would ignite the magic, if that makes any sense. So I think it's just interesting to consider. I don't know what will happen in my future. I don't know what's going to happen in anybody's future, but I love like diving deep into figuring out why I do what I do. So the reason I wanted to talk about proximity is because I think it's interesting just to consider, right? I'm not saying anybody should do long distance. I'm not saying anybody shouldn't do long distance, but I do think proximity, like the distance from where your person that you're trying to date or form a relationship with is, how far they are to your proximity, I think is fascinating because I think that's a huge, like, integral part of it, right? And then I think it's fascinating to think about when you sit on the sofa, you're watching a movie, whatever, how close are you guys to each other? I think that proximity is also kind of crucial, right? Like, I love PDA. I love forehead kisses. So I don't think I could date somebody like that's proximity that I like, right? Like I like being close, right? But I don't think that I could date somebody who doesn't like PDA or who doesn't like forehead kisses. Sounds minor, but it's important to me with my proximity of closeness. Anyway, so as usual, if you guys have any questions or concerns, definitely reach out. You know where to find me. And love y'all and